right. Well, hello to everybody here. It's Teresa Sanderson, and I am super excited to be connecting with all of you today with my dear friend Lillian Defries. And we're going to be talking about, ditch the resolutions in 2025 and instead live by the word or the word that you've chosen to kind of guide your year. So, Lillian, I know there are some people in my audience who may not know you yet. So, go
Hmm.
ahead and introduce yourself, share with us a little bit
Yeah,
about who you are and what you do.
thank you. Thank you. I'm excited to be here today. So, welcome everybody and Happy New Year. Um, yes, so my background a little bit. I've been in nursing since 1977, so I might be sharing a little bit of my age here. But I went into nursing and through nursing discovered something called coaching. And
Mhm.
I took a course called Workplace Wellness Health Promotion. And that's where I discovered coaching. And then I just decided to become a coach because truly it was about helping others to find themselves. And that's what I did in the process. And then I thought, boy, this is something I need to share with others. So I've been working with nurses and in hospitals since COVID. I've been out of the hospitals, working more with nurses online. But yeah, excited to be here and share more.
I love it. I love it. And the profession or the specialty of nurse coaching is so up and coming right now. There are so many wonderful things going on with it, and I absolutely love the idea of nurses coaching and mentoring and supporting one another. I mean, that just goes right along with Nurses Feed Their Young, right? That
Yes,
we
yes.
can support each other, that we can do a better job. But as we move into this, why are resolutions, Lillian, something that is probably just not the best path for people to take as we come into the new year? What's your take on that?
Well, I think through my years of coaching people and through my years of doing my own resolutions, and every time you listen to the news in January, you hear about people who are no longer following their resolutions. So I think it's like, what is a resolution? Like, it's almost like a dirty word, It's like, yeah, you talk about it and then you forget about it, right?
Yep.
And so that's where I came into play in my work with my clients, or first of all myself, because I've got to say, with coaching, if you don't do it yourself, then you can't help others to do it. So right, so it started with me, and it was a few years back where I thought, this resolution is not working. Like, what do I really want?
Hmm.
And so I think about the year that I really stepped into it fully, and I said, it was that typical thing. I'll be going to the gym 3 times a week. I'll be, doing this and that. And it was almost like a to-do list for the rest of the year.
Hmm.
And and it just felt so disconnected. It was felt like the shoulds versus what do I really want. And so when I work with my clients, I say, so this is where I'm inviting the audience right now, and yourself, Teresa, is to say, what is it you're trying to accomplish when you're putting these New Year's resolutions? What is it really behind that? And I
Hmm.
discovered that when I was looking to go to the gym or walk more often or eat better or whatever it was, or, you lose that 10 pounds that, that everybody starts the year with, it's
Yep.
that thing of saying, why? What is it I'm trying to accomplish really? And I thought to myself, I want to be more active. I want to
Hmm.
be more, I want to feel alive, hence the name of my company, Alive,
Yep.
and Alive in
Love
Healthcare.
that.
But it's really about, what's the end result? Why? The big why. And Simon Sinek talks about this, for those who have, looked at Simon Sinek's work about, we know how to do things, we know what to do, but why are we doing the things that we do?
Yeah.
So then that year I decided, and it lasted for a couple of years actually, and I still hold on to these words, even though it might not be the word for the year, it's still there.
Yep.
It's that the two words I chose, because it doesn't have to be one,
Hmm.
were both alive and active. And so, how
Love
did
it.
that change for me? It wasn't only about going to the gym 3 times a week or whatever it
Hmm.
was I was trying to accomplish, but it was also those times on the couch when I was sitting and watching TV with my husband. He'd get up and go to the kitchen and get a glass of water. And my old self would say, honey, can you bring me a glass of water too?
Hmm.
Now I say, if I want to live by the word of feeling alive and active, I need to get up and get my own water. Right. So
Yep.
so everything that I do has to come from that place.
I love that. I love that. And the simplicity of it,
Mm,
the simplicity of it. And it's almost like, I hear a lot of entrepreneur coaches and mentors talk about doing the seemingly inconsequential little things just over and over again. And that's really what builds success. It's
mm.
those small, tiny habits. I mean, James Clear wrote the book Atomic Habits,
Yes.
same kind of thing. The small,
Yeah.
tiny little things that you can do every day that compound over time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
And
So,
what's interesting is I'd love to bring it into, the context of, where you talk about dare to do nursing differently. This is the time
mhm,
when I say, am I in this place where I'm I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm feeling, and maybe even bitchy at that moment. I'm feeling like patients are ringing the bell so much,
yep,
then I think to myself, okay, what's not in alignment here? What's not in alignment is I'm not feeling active and alive, if those are my words, right?
yep, mhm,
Now, how can I shift that? Because many of us wait for everybody else to shift it for us, right?
yep,
But
mhm,
I can be in a patient's room and I can just say, you know what? Let's do our exercises today and let's get, our arms moving, and I'll get the water ready with your face cloth and let's start doing that stuff.
yeah,
And I start to sing with my patient and then I go, wow, that brings joy to me,
yep.
makes me feel more alive. And it does the same for my patient. And it does the same for the colleagues on the floor.
I love that. I love that. And so, yeah, it's these simple things that we can do that really make so much of a difference, I think. And I love hearing you say that I can sing with my patients. And
Mm.
before I became a nurse, I was a vocal major.
Ah,
And it was my dream. I mean, I am just enough of a ham. I think this is why I love live video.
yes,
It's why I
yes.
love all the things I get to do because I do love this kind of thing. But yeah, as a hospice nurse, was not uncommon at all for me to sing hymns with my patients and just be there at the
Mm,
bedside, doing those kind of things that would bring them some joy, some peace, some solace, and
yeah.
something different, right? And so again, this week my social media is kind of focusing on, nurses being these holistic creatures, right?
Hmm.
We
Hmm.
provide holistic care and treatment, but we are also holistic. And so
Absolutely.
it's okay for us to come to the bedside with all that we are,
Yes.
right? And to share those gifts and talents that we have. And that to me is where the true joy
Mm,
can kind of
mm,
come in.
yeah.
But I love this. So let's talk a little bit about the last part of our title here. Live by your words.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What's your interpretation of that, Lillian? How can people
Well,
apply that?
I think it's really once you've chosen your word,
Mhm.
and you got to be careful too. I was working with one of my clients yesterday where she was choosing the word committed, you know,
Okay.
and I said, does that bring joy to you when you're committed? Like you're dedicated to something. But you've got to find it so that it keeps it vibrant in everything that you do. So
Mhm.
when you live by that word, it's
Mhm.
everything that you do when you're feeling out of alignment. This is where you check in and you say, okay, what's my word? Is this a moment where I could start doing things a little different perspective, a little different mindset,
Mhm.
in what I'm doing? And that shifts everything. I think of even the word alive. Okay, so if I
Mhm.
go back to my patient, my bedside care days,
Mhm.
had my word been alive, um, I I was working with cancer patients, oncology,
Mhm. Yep.
and I'd start my shift, and literally we would be doing the French can and singing to the patients as we were doing our rounds. Okay, I
I
mean,
love it.
but half an hour, so that was aliveness, and just because they're there going through a very difficult time in their life doesn't mean they don't want to feel alive while they're here, right?
Exactly.
And then half an hour later, I'd be there, pulled the curtain, sitting at the bedside, holding the patient's hand, and saying, you know, I might be talking about some really difficult things and tears in our
Mhm.
eyes and everything, but
Yep.
this was a moment of aliveness in a different form.
Yeah.
It was taking people to the place of being alive with your feelings.
Mhm.
And that's okay. So whatever word you choose, you need to know why you're choosing it for yourself, but also how do you deliver it in the world?
Mm. Fantastic. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I love that. And, you know, years ago, I well, when my husband and I married in 2000, and I had been a director of clinical services at a multi-hospital, specialty hospital, group, and I was constantly being, I felt, pecked away at by my quality improvement guy, right?
Yeah,
Quality
yeah.
improvement guy who had what I called the ringside seat to say, "You need to be doing better with that," or "You need to be doing better with that. You need your
Yes.
department needs to do better with that." So, funny, I decided as my husband and I were getting married in 2000, I'm gonna look for a quality improvement seat because I need a little less stress, and I need an
Yes.
opportunity to participate in a different way. And so lo and behold, I grabbed a quality improvement role, with a healthcare organization in Kansas as I got my life started up here. But, the funny thing about that role is that, I've always held myself to a very high standard, probably even to my detriment at times, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Because, we all know, many people know already that I crashed and burned from major depression and couldn't work for 3 years. So I really
Right.
didn't have a way of giving myself peace to just
Mhm.
do as much as I can do on a
Mm,
40% day,
mm,
where I was feeling 40%, allowing myself to deliver 40%,
mm.
right? Until
Yeah.
I felt good again. Um, but in any case, my boss back in that day, he said, in my evaluation, I remember we went over it together, and he wrote that, I never missed a deadline and that I had a dogged tenacity.
Uh-huh,
And I
uh-huh.
thought and I thought, "Wow, that is just, I thought it was such a funny descriptor, but then I thought, it really is true because I'm
Yes,
like a dog with a bone. When I'm working on
yes.
a project, I'm gonna dive in, and,
Right.
so this year in 2025, 25 years later, I have chosen for my word of the year, I've chosen tenacious, to hold
Mm.
steadfastly to my
Uh-huh.
goals no matter what, right? And does that mean I'm not gonna give myself some grace? No, it doesn't. It just means that regardless of
Mm,
the climate today and the business that I'm working, regardless of the outcome of a conversation I may have with someone that may not be as positive or influential as I would like it to be, I'm gonna stay tenacious in my goals,
mm.
and, that's what I'm gonna hang on to for 2025 because I'm just gonna plant my boots in the sand and hold fast.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, notice even in the meaning of the word, we think of it in alignment with work or getting things done or that kind of
Yeah.
thing. Well,
Mhm.
but when you need to turn it around to care for yourself, it's that place of how tenacious can I be for myself?
Yes. Mhm. Mhm.
So again, the word is still very, to the point,
Yeah.
and it's just a matter of how do you want to hold it at
Mhm.
different times. So I
Oh,
love that. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I really love that perspective too because, again, as ourselves, we are holistic creatures. So, yes, and if I'm gonna hold steadfastly to my goals, you and I both know that my mental health is now one of my primary goals.
Yeah.
That's why I do the work that I do. That's why I
Yeah.
don't go back to traditional work settings and things like that
Yeah.
because, I can't go back to that place again. I will not go
No.
back there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I love that perspective. I love that
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah.
What's on your heart this year, Lillian?
Well, I've got oh, I lost my word all of a sudden. It was well, I'm going to go with what's just coming up right now because I just lost my word suddenly. I don't know why. Isn't that interesting? I need to put my word up on my computer here. But it's something to do with focus. It's something to do with, whatever it is that I'm doing it with attention. Yeah. Uh,
I love that.
I've got to find my word now. That's funny. But to come onto a call and teach everybody else how to do it and not have my word very clear, that's funny, but that's life, right? That's
That
okay.
is
But
life.
it is really focused about, so for example, when, why is that important to me? And I want to go back to the why, because the why is really
Mhm.
important. Um, because I can easily get distracted. I can easily go, squirrel, next thing, next project.
So
I'm
easy.
so creative. I can have 101 ideas, and it's not good enough. I come up with 102, right? So it's that focus of saying, okay, pick something right now, and what are you going to focus on right now? Even and give yourself permission. Is it 5 minutes? Is it an hour? Whatever you need, but it's
Yeah.
permission to focus. Permission to focus.
Oh,
So yeah, it was the laser focus. That's what it was. The laser focus.
oh, I
Yeah. So,
really love
you know,
that. Yeah.
and it's what I love about this too, about using words, is that sometimes you can pick a word and you realize that it's not exactly what you want, or there's something missing with it.
Mm-hmm.
And the importance is to know that you don't need to wait till January 1st to change that word, to tweak
Mm-hmm.
that word, to add a word. You can do it anytime you like. So
Right.
absolutely fine to, the resolution is this thing that we got to do January 1st. Nonsense. Pick a word. I even do it for the day. Like my word was laser focus this year, but
Yep.
I can pick a word for today and just say, today I'm going to be, laser focused in my activities,
Mm-hmm.
my physical activities, or I'm going to be laser focused in mental, my mindset, my mental state.
Mm-hmm.
So I can choose on a daily basis how to exhibit that word.
Mm-hmm. Love
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Love that. And it's been interesting, because I posted my word on social media, and a lot of people started chiming in with what they had chosen for the year. And for me personally, you talk about how easy it is to get distracted, and we are flooded today. The amount of data that comes at us every minute
mm,
through notifications on social media, pings and bells and things going off
yeah.
on our
Well,
phone. I mean, we just can't escape it. So it's really easy for us to live in a very distracted state and to be easily pulled away from the task at hand. The one thing that I have valued for the last several years that has really come from anchoring my year in one word is that whenever life happens, okay,
mm,
typically I start a day and I know these are my goals for the day. This is my list. These are the things I'm hoping to accomplish today, right?
correct.
Um, and but when life happens, chaos, right? Something happens, your appointment cancels, or you have a
Hmm.
medical emergency, or you have something that you have to deal with that's,
Yep.
urgent.
All your way. No.
Yep. So the beauty of a word is that you can immediately, when that chaos is resolved, reflect on that word, and it brings you right back to this baseline
Yes.
of,
Yes.
okay, I'm tenacious. I'm holding steadfast to my goals. What
Yes.
was on my list today?
Yeah.
Let's get started again. And
Yeah.
so it really serves as a beautiful anchor so
Mm,
that, when life happens, the winds of change come rushing through, you can easily come right back to where you were,
yes.
and just get started again.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Um, yeah, I love what you're saying, because it's a check. Well, it's a check-in point, right? It's you
Mhm,
get in that overwhelm and you just say, okay, what am I here for? Like, what is my purpose this year? Like, what am I,
mhm.
and one of the things I have actually on my computer here, I've got this little sign that says, focus on what you need, not what you need to do. Or when you're in overwhelm, right? I
Yep.
often
Mhm.
find that when I get, like in this place of I got to be here, got to do this, I got to do that, I just go, whoa, what do you need right now? And and often it's nothing to do with my to-do list. Sometimes
Love it.
I want to share something to women who are listening here. I found out something that men know that I didn't know. You know those naps they take?
Uh-huh.
They actually work. They're actually a good idea. But we have this concept, and I'm being very general here. But as a woman, I've used to say, I don't understand men that always go and nap in the afternoon. Like, what's wrong with them? Well, let me tell you, they have a little secret that I've learned to take in every now and then. Sometimes when I stop in my overwhelm, I go, what do I need? I need a nap. Like,
Mhm,
yeah, but
mhm.
and then my little gremlins in my head start going and going, yeah, but women don't do that, and you need to be doing all this kind of stuff, and you should be this, and you should be that. You shouldn't be napping. That's a waste of time. And then I go, oh, I've got to get rid of this, this chaos here. Laser focused, 20 minutes, lie down. You don't have to sleep. You don't have to make it a nap. Give yourself permission to what you need.
Mhm.
And then I just go, that's it. And here's my word, laser focused. Focused on that 20 minutes. Because I can tell you
Love
those
that.
20 minutes, if I don't take them, I end up
Mhm,
spending 4 hours of spinning about why I should or shouldn't take it. Right?
mhm,
Done
mhm.
with that. Oh, it takes years
Yep.
to learn that, but I'm done with that.
I hear you, and it's so interesting, I think, with work and productivity, there's some very contra, um, ideas, today compared to what we learned and were fed in the 80s, right? About
Yes.
multitasking and grinding your way to the top and reaching
Mm,
your way to the corporate ladder. And anymore, the biggest thought leaders are saying, I need to step away and have quiet time and
yeah.
not always be working because I'm not productive when I'm in that space. And
Yes.
this is what I find for myself. And it's been so liberating. Now I work probably 4 to 6 hours per day. It's focused time,
Mhm.
uninterrupted time.
Yes.
But when I'm done at the end of 6 hours, I used to, back in the 90s, I would continue to work no matter how tired I was.
Yes. Yes.
What happens with that is the work you're putting out is fruitless, it's lower quality, you're gonna
Yes.
struggle to get it out because you're
Yeah.
already exhausted, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the idea is work with your body when your body is in that active thinking, clicking along zone, and then when you're done, be done.
Yes.
Hang up
Yes.
close your computer, close up your phone, and be off
Yeah.
for the rest of the
Yeah.
day because you will come back refreshed and able to do so much more
Yeah.
than you would if you stayed at it, for 12, 16 hours,
100%, 100%.
right?
And imagine not just being tenacious at work, but being tenacious with your family, being tenacious with,
Oh,
like really putting all your heart into everything you do, not just the workplace. And
yep.
that's, I think, let's just go there for a moment because um, dare to do nursing differently. Those were the words, right? It's like,
Mhm.
how many times have I seen nurses just give so much of themselves at work, and then when they get home, they can't give anymore because they need, they're just
Mhm.
over exhausted. So where do you create the balance?
Right.
That's why I say the balance of, do I need a long time ago we talked about, why do we have these rules that
Excuse me.
does all the baths, everybody needs to get washed during the day? Like, why are we not saying, when does the patient want to get washed? When do we have the time to give the wash? Like, where are the rules that say somebody might not want to shower in the evening? Like,
Right.
just, we have this tunnel vision that
Yep.
things need to be done this way because they've been done like this way for how many years?
Forever. Mhm.
And where can we start to co-create things differently?
Ugh.
Yeah. And what could be the word for a unit? I mean, I've done some very close work with a unit in South Africa, in Cape Town, and they
Mhm.
have very much this stuff that they put on a board. They put the wins, like they have the word win is one of their words for the team,
Love it.
and it's like celebrating the wins. Like, what are my wins? What are your wins? When I notice, oh, Teresa, I noticed some patient gave you a hard time and you took a deep breath before you responded and you gave a little chuckle, made it lighter. And
Mhm.
that's a win. I want to chart that on our board because I want to recognize your win and I want you to recognize mine and I want to recognize myself, you
I
know?
love that.
So that's a
Mhm.
word for, I think I'm going to actually donate that word for healthcare, for our nurses, for 2025. What are the wins for all of us here in 2025? I think that's
Ugh.
a great word.
I love that. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, as we wind up here today, first of all, I want to thank you for joining me for such a fun conversation about anchoring our year in focus for the positive for 2025 and not setting ourselves up for failure. Thank you for this
Mm.
Lillian. I think it's so important that we bring the right perspective
Yes.
to what it is that we want to achieve in the coming years. So thank you for joining me today. Appreciate you being here.
Mm. My pleasure. My pleasure. I was just listening to something, a book I read years ago by Wayne Dyer called
Mhm.
Excuses Be Gone. And he's got a 2-hour video just doing this on stage, talking about it. And it really makes me think about, how we create with our words. We create these things that we need to do and should do and how things should be. And if anybody wants to watch that or wants a link to it, contact me. I can be reached at aliveinhealthcare at gmail.com. Aliveinhealthcare at gmail.com. And, I'd be happy to help you with your word. I'd be happy to, give you some resources to help you. But I think we need, it's that sisterly love of nursing and brotherly love, because there are male nurses out there that, we need to support each other. So that's big for me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love that. And before we finish up today, I just want to remind everybody about the Nurses Feed Their Young online peer support community. Lillian is one of our nifty experts in that community. And so if you've enjoyed what you've heard today, she actually has a presentation coming up within our community next month called Why Worldview Matters.
Yeah.
Correct, Lillian?
Yeah, that's
And
right.
yeah, so this is going to be an exciting presentation to discuss, how each of us bring our own unique worldview to the table, and how does that impact healthcare? How does it impact what we do, the work that we do
Mm,
in healthcare?
mm.
So I want to invite you. I'm going to post a link now here in the comments. Feel free to join our nifty member community. We've got some great news with that coming up here very, very soon as well. We have a wonderful new community name. And so I want to invite every nurse to be a part of this, because this community is going to be the community that transforms nursing culture once and for all, and is also
Mm.
going to be the one that supports nurses to thrive both personally and professionally. So we are
Mm.
super excited
Yeah,
to be on this journey together. Lillian, thank you again
my
for
pleasure.
joining me today. And this concludes our stream for today, and we will see you all again next time. Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you. Take care. See you at Nifty.
Bye.
Bye.